In 2 minutes from now, we are starting the Headlines Today Center Stage Twitter debate. From now on, every evening, one half of Center Stage will be the live Twitter debate. And I want to explain to you how to participate in our live Twitter debate. Is the right-wing fringe emboldened now that a BJP-led government is in power at the center? That's the topic for our debate tonight. You can tweet with the hashtag Center Stage. Remember, you need to use the hashtag Center Stage. You can either write agree or disagree just to make the tonality of your tweet clear. Add your comments, send them to us. A special algorithm designed for Headlines Today by Frol will help us analyze whether more people are in favor of this motion or against. I'll introduce you to our participants in just a moment from now, but let me take you through the big story this evening. As violent protests erupted over offensive Facebook posts about Shivaji and Bal Thackeray in Maharashtra, 22-year-old Mohsin Sheikh was bludgeoned to death with iron rods and lathis in Pune. A less-known right-wing fringe group, the Hindu Shiv Sena, is alleged to be behind Mohsin's murder. The group's founder, Dhananjay Desai, was sent to 12 days judicial custody today. This even as a massive political war of words erupted over the techie's murder.
Beaten to death with rods and sticks only because he was sporting a beard and wearing a skull cap. The brutal and senseless murder of a Pune techie by a bigoted group of Hindu militants shocking the nation. First came some quick arrests, closely followed by a full-scale political battle. NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar adding communal overtones to the killing of the software professional. And the BJP quick to hit back.
आपल्या राज्यातल्या काही गावांमध्ये अल्पसंख्याक समाजाच्या घरावर प्रार्थना स्थळावर हल्ले झाले. पुणे शहरामध्ये एका इंजिनियरची हत्या झाली. अनेक ठिकाणी छोटे मोठे अशा प्रकारचे संघर्षाचे प्रकार झाले की जे महाराष्ट्रामध्ये कधी नव्हते. आताच काय झालं? आणि त्याचं महत्त्वाचं कारण की दिल्लीची सत्ता फासल्याच्या नंतर समाजातले काही घटक जे दबून होते त्यांना असं वाटायला लागलं की आता देश आमच्या हातामध्ये आला.
जब हार दिखने लगती है तब शरद पवार साहब कई बार कम्युनल स्टेटमेंट्स करते हैं, जाति के आधार पर स्टेटमेंट करते हैं. मतलब अगर ये लॉजिक है तो क्या पवार साहब ये सही मानेंगे कि ऊपर जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी की सरकार आई इसलिए नीचे महात्मा गांधी जी की हत्या हुई?
The Shiv Sena also attacking Pawar for targeting the Modi government over the Pune lynching.
पवार साहब बहुत बड़े नेता हैं, हम उनका आदर भी करते हैं, लेकिन शरद पवार साहब अभी जो इस तरह से उनका पराजय हुआ है तो भ्रमित हुए हैं सब लोग और वो खुद नहीं विचार करते हैं कि हम क्या बयान दे रहे हैं, उसका क्या परिणाम होगा.
देखिए, जब भी चुनाव पास में आता है पवार साहब मतों के ध्रुवीकरण के लिए कम्युनलिज्म का इशू सामने लाने का प्रयास करते हैं.
Meanwhile, Centre and State also at loggerheads over the Maharashtra government report on the Pune techie murder, denying media reports that the centre had found fault with the Maharashtra police report on the murder.
ऐसा किसी ने रिपोर्ट हमें मांगा नहीं और भेजने की आवश्यकता नहीं. एजेंसी जांच कर रही है. अभी तक कुछ लोगों को हमने अरेस्ट भी किया है, लेकिन किसी ने ये मैटर पोस्ट किया था. इसका इन्वेस्टिगेशन आईपी एड्रेस मिलने के बाद ही होगा.
Home Minister R.R. Patil even going ahead and blaming the social media for triggering violence.
हम कार्रवाई करेंगे. जो इसे लाइक करता है या फॉरवर्ड करता है उनको भी हम सख्ती से लेंगे और ऐसे लोगों पर कार्रवाई करेंगे.
19 people already behind bars for the hate crime. But unending politics only further muddying the waters. With Kamlesh Suthar, this is Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
So we're all set to get started for the Center Stage Twitter debate. Our participants are live and they're through. Let me again tell you how to participate. The question that we're debating tonight: is the right-wing fringe emboldened now that a BJP-led government is in power at the center? To participate, use the hashtag Center Stage. Just write the word agree or disagree to make your tweet absolutely clear. Add your comment and an algorithm will analyze that live. Let me introduce you to our guests this evening. Sanjay Kaul, representing the BJP. Rana Ayub, well-known commentator and journalist. Ijaz Ilmi, also with the BJP. And Sanjay Jha, national spokesperson for the Congress party. I begin this debate by asking Rana Ayub to open the motion for us on why you believe that the fringe has been emboldened now that a Modi-led government is in power at the centre. You have 60 uninterrupted seconds. Rana Ayub, your time starts now.
Rahul, to an extent, I believe that the fringe, right-wing fringe, has been emboldened for the simple reason that, the way the election has been fought. Right from Amit Shah, who has been the election in charge of Uttar Pradesh, who has had charges of fake encounters against him, to the Muzaffarnagar riots, the way Sanjeev Balian was promoted and made the made the independent minister of state. We all know the election was fought on a development plank, but at the bottom of it, the Hindutva core ideas were very strong. The RSS cadres across the country had been galvanized to get that victory for BJP and for Narendra Modi. So, and now if you see this entire this Pune incident, this is basically a signal. This is basically payback time. We have fought for you. The right-wing elements in the country feel that we have fought for Narendra Modi. So it is now. We have every right to be to basically do what we feel like. On top of it, Narendra Modi's silence, and because he has been tweeting about he's a very media savvy person. He has been tweeting about
your time is up.
Issue.
That's where we must stop. You're questioning Modi's silence. You're citing Amit Shah's presence. You're saying it is payback time. Sanjay Kaul, a compelling argument made for why Rana Ayub believes the fringe has been emboldened by the presence of a BJP-led government at the centre. Why do you believe that's not true, Sanjay? Your time starts now.
No, that was not a compelling argument. That was chaotic thinking at its worst. You pulled in everything you could probably just to make a case. But here's the point. This is a government which is a state government which the Congress and the NCP run jointly. The question to ask is are they not at all accountable as far as this is concerned? And please understand that the UP debacle as far as the Congress and the SP were concerned was just because of these situations. The thing to ask is, how is it that anybody is emboldened to something like this? And don't start bringing in the Hindu fringe element and the lunatic. Only the lunatic fringe could be thinking about this fringe right now. The fact is, this was an incident. This has to be looked as a law and order problem. If it has communal overtones, then it has to be dealt with supremely speedily. And I don't think any amount of trying to sort of create a sort of a panic, which I think is in the interest of certain people. I know that there is a fact.
Okay, your time is up. I must explain. You've got one clear uninterrupted minute, because what you have on other stations is everyone speaking at the same time. We're ensuring all our speakers get a clear uninterrupted minute to make their point, but they must end when the buzzer goes off. I want to go across now to Sanjay Jha, because Sanjay Kaul says that's a chaotic, irrelevant, meaningless argument. There has to be some concrete evidence put out by the Congress when you allege that the fringe has been emboldened. The fringe were out there when your government was in power at the centre. They're still out there. What is the link that you can establish with the presence of Modi and the BJP? So far, that link seems absent. Sanjay Jha, your time starts now.
Rahul, Mohsin Sheikh was not just a Muslim techie. He was an Indian citizen like you and me, killed in cold blood. And the fact that the Prime Minister of India or the BJP government is not yet condemned it is extremely unfortunate. And by the way, this is not an event in splendid isolation. Noted Kannada writer U.R. Ananthamurthy was threatened by a group called the Modi Brigade, no less. Nothing happened. Nobody condemned it. The same is applicable to the Goa Facebooker who's been threatened with arrest. It hasn't stopped there. Look at the two books, the Wendy Doniger's book and Dinanath Batra making sure that on the day the BJP government came to power, Dr. Mekha Kumar's book went into hibernation. These are all symptomatic of the fact that you have today a majoritarian fascism beginning to show its early symptoms.
Okay, your time is up. You're connecting several dots to suggest that the right-wing fringe seems emboldened. It's not just the Pune techie murder. It's also what Sangeet Som is saying in Muzaffarnagar. It is also what's happening in the book publishing industry. I want to go across now to Ijaz Ilmi. You've got 1 minute to explain why you believe that the right-wing fringe being on the loose has nothing to do with Modi being in power at the centre. So your time starts now.
Well, Mr. Narendra Modi has been one of the biggest critics, and he's talked about zero tolerance to extremism and terror, and that includes bigotry and hate crimes. It's very, very clear during the entire campaign. Allegations are being made by Rana Ayub and my friend Sanjay Jha to speak about Narendra Modi's victory. Well, this is just negation of the mandate. And if you try and negate the mandate by saying it's only communal polarization, you're doing injustice to the mandate which the people of India have given to this government. It is very clearly a development and a pro-growth agenda why they were voted. And yes, it is very clear there's nothing lunatic or right-wing or anything about it. This is deviant, diabolical behavior by all kinds of people who indulge in it. They are a minuscule minority, and it impacts citizens everywhere. The key question is that the government of Maharashtra was sleeping on the job. Why weren't they alive to a situation when Facebook morph pictures depicting leaders came out? It was their job to make sure. And how did the Hindu Rashtra Samiti, which has got nothing Hindu or Rashtriya about it, survive for the last 10 years and prosper under the leadership of the NCP Congress government?
Okay, your time is up. I'm being flooded by responses. I'll play out the first set of sentiment analysis results about people who are watching this broadcast. Which set of speakers do they agree with more? But before that, a round of open interjections, and I want to go across Rana Ayub on the first question about not being able to establish a strong enough link. A lot of what you're saying is conjecture. There is no evidence, because in the president's speech today, Pranab Mukherjee spoke about zero tolerance of any form of communal violence. This happened in a state controlled by the Congress and the NCP. Therefore, to draw a link and to blame Modi for it seems far-fetched. Your chance now to rebut that argument, Rana.
See, Rahul, 60 seconds was not enough for me to make the entire point. As I said, there are two aspects to it. One, that the right wing has been emboldened to an extent from since the government has come to power. Having said that, one cannot deny the fact that the Congress NCP has been in power in Maharashtra for the last 15 years. In fact, since the independence, the Congress NCP has been in power for the maximum period. Why is it that the Congress NCP government coalition not banned the Sanatan Sanstha and the Abhinav Bharat, which have been responsible for a spate of blast in Maharashtra? Why is it that the Sri Krishna Commission report, which was formed to look into the Mumbai riots, not implemented by the Congress NCP government? Why is it that the Rahman Committee report, which talks about the status of Muslims, not being tabled in the State Assembly yet? So in a way, the Congress government also is trying to look at its vote bank, the Maratha vote bank in Maharashtra. It wants to appease Muslims. During the elections, you will have Sharad Pawar coming out and giving a statement about communalizing the issue.
Your time, Rana, is your time is over, but what you've said in the second minute that you've spoken is completely the opposite of what you said in the first. You've raised questions of the Congress NCP government. That is what Sanjay must answer for, because while people find it fashionable to blame the Narendra Modi government for what's happening in Pune, the reality is it is a Congress NCP government which is in power in the state of Maharashtra at this time. Law is under your government, and in fact the BJP government is the one that is saying that this should be tagged as a communal incident, whereas the Maharashtra government is insisting that this is a law and order incident. If at all the BJP seems very keen to ensure that justice is done and done swiftly, it is your government, Sanjay, that seems to be dragging its feet.
On the contrary, Rahul, in fact, the Maharashtra government and the police have to be congratulated for having immediately arrested all the culprits. Investigations are on, and they prevented what was turning out to be a very dangerous communal conflagration from escalating. You see, a lot of people are not aware of it, but you know, certain madrasas, mosques were being attacked by vandals, and it was being done in a very systematic and an organized way. So I don't think the law and order issue has been at all allowed to get out of hand. Number two, and a very critical point, is that if you have the government of Mr. Modi putting Sanjeev Balyan and accused in the Muzaffarnagar riots in his cabinet, just imagine the kind of signals you're sending to the minorities already suffering from all kinds of apprehensions about what can be in store with the Modi government at the center. It's not just what happened with the Hindu Rashtra Sena. There is a Pramod Muthalik. There are people who beat up Prashant Bhushan. There are people who threaten Arundhati Roy. Any voice of liberal tolerance which is trying to express itself.
Okay, your time is up, Sanjay. Your time is up. You've explained the argument, but not adequately, because the blame to a certain extent also lies on the doors of the Congress and the NCP. Everyone makes it seem as if it's the BJP and the Modi government that is to blame without being able to prove that. But I have a question, and I want to put this to Sanjay Kaul, because the Pune MP, Anil Shirole, who is a BJP MP, after the ghastly attack in Pune, has actually come out and said that given what happened, given what was said about Shivaji and Bal Thackeray, some form of a repercussion is only natural. Now, Sanjay, what action has your government taken against Anil Shirole? Has he been pulled up? He's your MP from your party. You can't say he's a fringe element. He's as centrist as it gets because he's in your party, and he seems to believe that some form of repercussion is natural as a consequence of what happened in Pune. Sanjay Kaul, your time starts now.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, any of those lines or those ideas or that thought is completely reprehensible. It is not supported by anybody in this party. I've told you this. I was on a show earlier on this issue, and I said that this is completely condemned, and that we do not support anything that resembles anything of this nature. But having said that, you do remember that as far as the minorities are concerned, they have been far more emphatic in the last elections about who they do not trust. And that happens to probably be the Congress and the SP. So let's not go there. Number two, the more fundamental issue in front of you is this. Is it completely not possible that this sort of environment that has been created has resulted in this crime? The point is not that the police acted well after the crime was committed. The question is, what are the conditions that allowed somebody to even imagine that such a crime could be committed and that they could possibly get scot-free? Don't forget, in Mumbai, somebody walked into a bar and tried to shoot somebody.
Okay, your time is up, Sanjay. Sanjay Kaul, I must explain to my viewers once again the need to finish on time. You've got 1 minute, frame your argument, complete on time. We've got a flood of responses. Let's see what the sentiment analysis at this time is. This is a specially developed algorithm which analyzes this data. The question is the right-wing fringe emboldened by the presence of a BJP government? 32% of the people who are responding to this program say yes. 68%, which means that 2/3 of the people watching this broadcast tonight feel the right-wing fringe hasn't been emboldened by the presence of a BJP government. That is significant. That, of course, is just the first set of responses. We will play out more responses at the end of this program, but I want to go across first and foremost on this to Rana, because Rana, initially at least the responses seem to be against the arguments that you're making, and some of the people who are writing in are suggesting that if at all the right-wing fringe help Modi come to power, the right-wing elements help Modi come to power, they would not want to destabilize him at this time. That's the last thing they will want to do. Why so soon after having helped Modi come to power would they want to destabilize him? This could be, and we don't know which proxy servers have been used. Some of them have been traced to addresses abroad. This could be the handiwork of people trying to create trouble. Are you looking for ghosts and conspiracies where they don't exist? Rana, are you?
Rahul, the Hindu Rashtra Sena, for all you know, has got nothing to do with the BJP or the entire Sangh Parivar for that matter. But look at the signal that you are trying to send in on the day of, you know, when Narendra Modi is taking oath as the Prime Minister of the country. He has inducted Sanjeev Balian, who has been accused by the UP State Police and charge sheeted for having given provocative speeches during the Mahapanchayat in Muzaffarnagar. Now, what does a fringe element in Pune take away from this entire episode? For he believes that here is this man who is making this, who has this guy as his independent minister of state. So that means I have been given a free hand and I am free to do anything. Look at the messages that went around after Mohsin Sadiq was killed. That the first wicket has fallen. Look at the way the madrasas were vandalized in the state. Look at the way the messages were exchanged across the country. Look at the way the Hindu right-wing lobby, the RSS and the vicious elements were arguing on Twitter supporting.
Okay, your time is up. But I want to put that same question to Sanjay Jha. The fact that at this point in time, the last thing anybody who's on Modi's side will want is to destabilize his government, create a hypothesis which allows people to say that the worst fears of the minorities are coming true. If at all there is a conspiracy at play, it could be a conspiracy from across the border. It could be a conspiracy of those who want to see the Modi government perform poorly as opposed to those who are emboldened by Modi's presence. Sanjay Jha, how do you respond to that?
Rahul, you know, there is absolutely no denying, it's publicly been visible that in this particular election, the RSS has dropped that facade of merely being, you know, the foot soldiers. They have literally been, you know, masterminding the entire BJP campaign. You saw when the campaign got over, both the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, and Mr. Rajnath Singh first visited the RSS chief. Now, this is very, very obvious. Now, we all know that the RSS's biggest agenda is a Hindutva-based India. And therefore, the obsession with trying to promote religion and to challenge India's plurality or our complete secular outlook will be challenged. This is to be expected. And therefore, let us not be so charitable here. I think what is particularly disconcerting to a lot of people in India will be the silence, the deafening silence of the Prime Minister himself, who otherwise finds time to comment on all kinds of issues, many trivial, some mundane, but
okay, your time is up, but you've raised an important question, and the question is about Narendra Modi's silence, and I want to put that question to Sanjay Kaul, because the Prime Minister is known to comment on all manner of things on Twitter in public. He hasn't so far once made a single utterance about what happened in Pune. Now, when a Prime Minister says he wants to be as accessible, as communicative, is his silence on what happened in Pune not deafening? Sanjay Kaul, your time starts now.
No, I don't think the Prime Minister is now going to be actually talking about every thing that he wants to on Twitter. And if you haven't seen the change in position from being in the opposition and being a contender to being the Prime Minister, then I think you guys have missed something. More importantly, when was the last time one of our workers were killed in Kerala? And did Mr. Manmohan Singh make a statement on that? Did we ever hear? There was deafening silence all along. Do you know how many people we have lost? Workers we have lost in there. So a Hindu is killed, the Prime Minister doesn't have to make a comment, but a Muslim is killed, the Prime Minister has to step in. More importantly, aren't you undermining the state? Exactly the sort of federalism we were talking about. Aren't you interfering? Shouldn't we be letting the state do its job? Shouldn't we be asking the state to do its job? Shouldn't the Congress NCP government be responsible for creating the conditions that allow people of whatever nature to run around and be able to do something like this? I think those are the questions you should address yourself. As far as the BJP is concerned, Mr. Modi is concerned, we are focused on the development agenda, and we know.
Okay, your time is up, Sanjay Kaul, and in fact that's the last word on the show. All our speakers have spoken, they've made their arguments. As always, we don't tell you which side to pick. You've heard arguments on both sides. It's your turn to decide who wins, who loses. Here are the results now of the debate that we've done tonight. It started from the 30th minute, that's why you're seeing responses from there. 64% of the people who've responded. Can we have the final results? This sheet and the other sheet which has the final results of the debate that we've done. 36%, that's just a little bit more than 1/3 of the people who've responded say that they agree with the suggestion that the Narendra Modi government at the center has led to right-wing fringe elements getting emboldened. While 64% of the people who are watching this broadcast and have responded on Twitter feel that that suggestion is not true. 64% disagreeing. That's where we end this debate. You've got the results out there. Rana Ayub and Sanjay Jha today, and because also of the responses coming in from Twitter, coming out as the losing side in this debate, Sanjay Kaul and Aijaz Ilmi ending up on the winning side. Here are now the final results. You saw that as in aggregate, the final aggregated results of the sentiment analysis. Here it is. Can we just bring the cameras in a little closer, please? 21% of the people who've responded agree that the right-wing fringe is emboldened, 79% disagree. So while the charge is being leveled, the aspersion is being made, not enough evidence yet to suggest that indeed the right-wing fringe is emboldened. This is, of course, skewed because it's only the people who are on Twitter who are watching this broadcast, and the invitation is to all to participate. But this is the result of the Headlines Today Center Stage Twitter debate. This is something we'll be doing every night from now on, giving you an opportunity to participate in the debate live. Aijaz Ilmi, Rana Ayub, Sanjay Kaul and Sanjay Jha for joining us on the Center Stage Face Off tonight. Thank you very much.